Your mind controls you, not the other way around. Right now, as you're watching this, your thoughts are pulling you in a dozen different directions. Anxiety about tomorrow, regret about yesterday, that notification you want to check. You're a slave to distractions, to racing thoughts, to mental chaos you didn't choose. Most people live their entire lives without ever controlling their own minds. But here's what they don't tell you. Ancient Japanese masters created a 3-stage system for total mental mastery. It's called the Shu-Ha-Ri Method, and it's been hidden in plain sight for centuries. Now, before we go further, this knowledge is for self-mastery, not manipulation. Today, you're going to learn the 3 stages that transform mental chaos into laser focus. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear path to complete mind control. Not the mind control they sell you in self-help books. Real mastery. If you're ready for this, drop this in the comments right now. I am the master of my mind, not its slave. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Shu. Obey the rules. Shu. In Japanese, it means to obey, to protect, to follow. This is the first stage, and most people never make it past here because they don't understand what it's really about. Think of a white belt in a martial arts dojo. They don't question the master. They don't improvise. They copy every movement exactly as shown, down to the angle of their wrist, the placement of their feet. They look robotic, awkward, but that's the point. Bruce Lee said it perfectly. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. That's Shu. Repetition without deviation. Discipline without creativity. And it's exactly what your untrained mind needs right now. Here's the concept most people miss. Shu is about strict discipline and following proven methods to the letter. No modifications. No, but this would work better for me. No shortcuts. When you're a beginner at mind control, you don't know what you don't know. Your mind has been running wild for years, maybe decades. You can't trust your instincts yet because your instincts are part of the problem. So you follow the rules exactly as given. Why? Because beginners must follow rules exactly to build the neural pathways that make mastery possible later. And here's the paradox that breaks most people. Strict rules create freedom later. The rigidity of Shu isn't a prison. It's the foundation of a palace. But you have to lay every brick perfectly or the whole thing collapses. Think about learning to drive. Remember your first time behind the wheel? Hands at 10 and 2. Check mirrors every 5 seconds. Signal exactly 100 feet before the turn. Full stop at every stop sign. Count to 3. It felt mechanical, restrictive, exhausting. But what happened after 6 months? You stopped thinking about it. Your hands knew where to go. Your foot knew how much pressure. Now you drive while having conversations, listening to music, thinking about your day. The strict rules became automatic. And that automation gave you freedom. Or look at piano. Every master pianist started the same way, playing scales. C major, G major, D major. Over and over and over. Boring. Tedious. Nothing creative about it. But those scales built the finger memory, the muscle control, the foundational understanding of how notes relate to each other. And that boring foundation is what allows them to play Chopin without thinking, to improvise jazz, to create music that moves people to tears. Your mind works the same way. Master the fundamentals first, or you'll be trapped in chaos forever. So what does Shu look like in practice? 3 applications, and you're going to pick one. First, the morning routine. Every single morning, same time, 5 minutes of meditation. Not when you feel like it. Not if you have time. Not 10 minutes one day and 2 the next. 5 minutes. Same time, same technique. Set your alarm for 6 a.m. Sit down, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. That's it. No apps. No guided meditations. No experimenting with different positions. Just you, your breath, 5 minutes, every day. The consistency builds a pathway. The repetition trains your mind that you, not it, decides when to focus. Second, thought control using the stop method. When a negative thought appears, and it will constantly at first, you do this exactly. Say stop out loud or in your mind. Take a deep breath. Observe the thought without judgment. Proceed with a chosen thought. That's the formula. STOP. You don't modify it. You don't skip steps. You don't analyze whether it's working while you're doing it. Negative thought appears, you execute stop. Every single time. No exceptions. Third, focus practice with the Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes of focus work, 5-minute break. Not 23 minutes. Not 30. 25 and 5. You use a timer. When it goes off, you stop, even if you're in flow. Especially if you're in flow, because you're not training yourself to work. You're training yourself to obey your own commands. The technique works because of its rigidity, not in spite of it. Now, here's where most people fail. They make one of 4 fatal mistakes. Mistake 1, trying to customize too early. Yeah, but I'm not a morning person, so I'll meditate at night. The stop method feels weird, so I'll just do the breathing part. 25 minutes is too short for my work, so I'll do hour-long sessions. Congratulations, you just stayed in mental chaos. You're still letting your mind run the show by deciding what feels comfortable. Mistake 2, skipping the boring fundamentals. You want the advanced techniques. You want the sexy stuff. 5 minutes of breath counting? That's too simple. You want transcendental meditation, binaural beats, advanced visualization. But you can't even control your mind for 5 minutes. And you think you're ready for advanced work? The fundamentals are boring because they're exposing your lack of control. That discomfort is the work. Mistake 3, thinking you're special and don't need the basics. I'm naturally good at focus. I've read a lot about meditation. I'm pretty self-aware already. Cool, then this will be easy for you. Do it anyway. Every master went through Shu. You're not the exception. Mistake 4, giving up because it feels restrictive. It does feel restrictive. That's your undisciplined mind panicking because it's losing control. Push through. The restriction is temporary. The freedom is permanent. So here's your practice for the next 7 days. Every morning, as soon as you wake up, before you check your phone, before coffee, before anything, sit down and count your breaths. Inhale, count 1. Exhale, count 2. Up to 10. Then start over. Do this for 5 minutes. When your mind wanders, it will, dozens of times, bring it back to 1. No judgment. No frustration. Just back to 1. Nothing else. No music. No apps. No variations. Just breath counting, 5 minutes, 7 days. This feels too simple, doesn't it? That's your ego talking. Your ego wants complexity because complexity lets it stay in control. Simplicity exposes weakness. Do it anyway. Shu give you the foundation, but you can't stay here forever. Because here's what happens next. Once you've mastered the rules, once they're hardwired into your nervous system, once you can execute them without thinking, that's when you're ready to break them. And breaking them correctly, that's the second stage. That's Ha, but we're not there yet. Chapter 2, Ha, break the rules. Ha, break, detach, diverge. This is where you earn the right to disobey. Not because you're rebellious, but because you master the fundamentals so completely that you understand why they exist in the first place. Think of the brown belt in martial arts. They've drilled the basic punch 10,000 times. Now, when they're sparring, they don't think about chamber, rotation, hip drive. They just punch. And sometimes they adjust. They shorten the chamber for speed. They change the angle for a specific opponent. They're still using the fundamental technique, but they're adapting it. That's Ha. Picasso said, learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. That's not permission to chaos. That's intelligent rule breaking. It's innovation built on a foundation of discipline. You can't break rules you never learned. You can't adapt techniques you never mastered. Ha is where mental discipline becomes personal, where the system becomes yours. Here's the concept. Ha means adapting rules after you've mastered the basics. You spent weeks, maybe months, following the exact protocol. You did the 5-minute breath counting every morning. You executed the stop method precisely. You ran 25-minute Pomodoros without deviation. And something shifted. It became automatic. Your mind started to obey. Now you can ask better questions. Does 5 minutes serve you, or would 7 be more effective? Does the stop method work for anxiety, or do you need something different for self-doubt? Does your brain focus better in 40-minute blocks? You understand why the rules exist, so you know which ones to break. The morning meditation wasn't arbitrary. It was building consistency and neural pathways. But maybe your nervous system responds better to evening practice. The stop method wasn't magic words. It was pattern interruption. But maybe you need visual interruption instead of verbal. The Pomodoro wasn't sacred. It was structured focus cycles. But maybe your ultradian rhythm runs longer. This is experimentation based on a solid foundation. You're not guessing. You're testing. And you can only test effectively when you have a baseline of mastery to compare against. Look at a jazz musician. Miles Davis didn't wake up one morning and start improvising. He spent years learning scales, learning standards, learning theory. He played Autumn Leaves and all the things you are exactly as written hundreds of times. He internalized the rules of harmony, rhythm, phrasing, and then, only then, did he break them. His improvisation wasn't random. It was deeply informed rule-breaking. He knew what note was supposed to come next, and he chose something unexpected instead. But that choice was intelligent because he understood the structure he was breaking. Or look at a chef. Gordon Ramsay didn't become Gordon Ramsay by experimenting day one. He followed classical French techniques exactly. Dice the onion this way. Sear at this temperature. Sauce with this ratio. He made the same dishes the same way until he could do them blindfolded. And then he started creating. He took the technique of emulsification he learned in béarnaise sauce and applied it to something completely different. He understood the principle, so he could apply it anywhere. His creativity came from mastery, not from ignorance. Your mind works the same way. Master the structure, then make it yours. So what does that look like in practice? 3 applications. Evolved from your Shu foundation. First, your morning routine. You've been doing 5 minutes of breath counting for weeks. It's automatic now. So test. What happens if you extend it to 7 minutes? What if you shift from breath counting to body scanning? What if you move your session from morning to evening? Try one change at a time. Does your focus improve throughout the day? Does your anxiety decrease? Does your mental clarity sharpen? Keep what works. Discard what doesn't. Maybe you discover you need 10 minutes, not 5. Maybe you need movement meditation, not seated. The point is, you're adapting based on results, not preferences. Second, thought control. You've mastered the stop method. You can execute it reflexively now. So evolve it. What if you combine stop with a physical anchor, pressing your thumb and finger together while you breathe? What if you add visualization, imagining the thought as a cloud drifting away? What if you create a hybrid method that uses stop for anxiety, but a different technique for self-criticism? You're not abandoning the foundation. You're building on it. You understand that thought interruption works, so now you're customizing the interruption to fit different mental patterns. Third, focus practice. The Pomodoro has rewired your brain. 25 minutes of focus isn't painful anymore. It's natural. So experiment. Try 40-minute work blocks with 10-minute breaks. Try 90-minute deep work sessions with 20-minute recovery. Try tracking your energy throughout the day and scheduling your hardest mental work during your natural peak. Maybe you discover you're a 40-10 person. Maybe you realize you have 2 90-minute windows of genius-level focus per day. The technique taught you to focus on command. Now you're optimizing when and how long. But here's where people crash and burn in Ha, for mistakes that send you back to chaos. Mistake 1, breaking rules before mastering Shu. You did the breath counting for 3 days, got bored, and decided to try something else. That's not Ha. That's still Shu, and you're failing at it. You can't adapt what you haven't mastered. If you're still struggling with consistency, if your mind still wanders constantly, if you still feel like you're fighting yourself, you're not ready for Ha. Stay in Shu until it's effortless. Mistake 2, rebelling just a rebel. Your ego hates being told what to do, So you change things to prove you're independent. That's not intelligent adaptation. That's childish resistance. Ha isn't about feeling free. It's about being effective. If your modification doesn't improve results, it's not Ha. It's just ego. Mistake 3. Losing the foundation completely. You start experimenting, and suddenly you're meditating with crystals while listening to whale sounds and burning sage. You abandoned everything that worked. Ha doesn't mean throw out the rules. It means evolve them. The core principles that made Shu work still apply. You're refining, not replacing. Mistake 4. Thinking you're at Ha when you're still at Shu. This is the most common. You want to be a Ha because Ha sounds cooler, more advanced, more you, but wanting to be there doesn't put you there. Ha is earned through mastery, not claimed through impatience. If you have to think about executing the basics, you're in Shu. When the basics are unconscious, you're ready for Ha. Here's your practice for the next 7 days. Take the Shu practice you've been doing, breath counting, stop method, Pomodoro, whichever one you chose. Now test 3 variations. Change 1 variable at a time. Track the results. If you were doing 5-minute morning meditation, try 7 minutes for 2 days, then 10 minutes for 2 days, then evening 5 minutes for 2 days. Compare. Which one gave you the clearest mind? Which one felt most sustainable? Which one improved your actual day-to-day mental control? Keep the winner. That's your new baseline. This is where it gets personal. Your Ha won't look like anyone else's Ha. The jazz musician and the chef both broke rules, but they broke different rules in different ways. Your mind is unique. Your life is unique. Ha is where you figure out your optimal system. But Ha gives you flexibility, not transcendence. You're still consciously adapting, still thinking about the technique, still making decisions about what to do. You're effective, but you're not effortless. And there's a level beyond conscious effort. A level where you don't control your mind because you and your mind are the same thing, where the technique disappears and only the result remains. That's Ri. That's mastery. And most people never get there because they think Ha is the finish line. It's not. It's the beginning of the end. Chapter 3, Ri. Transcend the rules. Ri. Leave. Separate. Transcend. This is the stage where the technique disappears because you become it. There's no separation between you and the practice. The black belt doesn't think about blocking a punch. Their arm is already moving before their conscious mind registers the threat. They've transcended technique. They don't do martial arts. They are martial arts. Most people never reach this stage, not because it's impossible, but because they mistake competence for mastery. Miyamoto Musashi wrote, "When you have attained a way of strategy, there will be nothing that you cannot understand." He's talking about Ri. When you fully integrated a skill, it stops being a skill. It becomes part of your operating system. And here's what's profound. That integration allows you to understand everything else more clearly. Mastery in one domain reveals patterns in all domains. The concept is simple but difficult to grasp until you've experienced it. Ri means you are the practice. There's no separation, no conscious thought needed. You're not controlling your mind. You and your mind are aligned. You're not focusing. Focus is your natural state. You're not managing negative thoughts. They don't arise in the first place, or they dissolve the instant they do. This is pure flow state. Complete integration. You've practiced so long, adapted so intelligently, that the whole system has become unconscious competence. Watch a concert pianist. Lang Lang performing Rachmaninoff. His fingers move across the keys at impossible speed, hitting notes with perfect precision, dynamics flowing from whisper to thunder. Is he thinking, now the C sharp, now the E, now forte, now diminuendo? No, he's not thinking about the mechanics at all. He's inside the music. He feels it and his body executes. The years of scales, the years of practice, the years of adaptation, all of that compressed into this moment where there's no separation between musician and music. That's Ri. Or look at language. You're reading this right now, and you're not thinking about grammar. You're not parsing subject, verb, object. You're not consciously identifying adjectives. The meaning just appears in your mind. That's because you've reached Ri with your native language. You spent years in Shu as a child, copying sounds, following rules, memorizing vocabulary. You moved through Ha as a teenager, bending grammar for style, creating slang, making the language yours. And now, as an adult, you just speak. The rules are still there, governing everything you say, but you're not aware of them. You've transcended them. Or watch an athlete in the zone. LeBron James driving to the basket. He's not thinking. 3 defenders collapsing, ball fake left, spin right, elevate, release at apex. His body knows. Thousands of hours of practice compressed into split-second decisions that happen below consciousness. He sees the opening before it exists. He moves before thinking. That's what happens when you reach Ri. You see patterns before they complete. You respond before situations fully form. Your mind can reach this level. And when it does, everything changes. What does Ri look like in practice? 3 manifestations evolve from everything you've built. First, your morning routine. You don't set an alarm anymore because you wake up naturally at the right time. You don't force yourself to sit and meditate because sitting is what you want to do. Your mind is already calm when you wake up because the practice has restructured your baseline state. The 5 minutes you started with, they've expanded or contracted to exactly what you need without you deciding. Some mornings it's 3 minutes. Some mornings it's 20. But you're not choosing based on preference. Your system knows what it needs. Mind control has become automatic. It happens naturally, the same way your heart beats without you thinking about it. Second, thought control. Negative thoughts still arise, you're human, but they dissolve before they form fully. You notice the beginning of an anxious thought pattern, and it just stops. Not because you're executing stop, not because you're using a technique, but because your mind has been trained so thoroughly that it self-corrects below conscious awareness. It's like your mental immune system has become so strong it fights off infections before you feel sick. The thought patterns that used to dominate you for hours now last seconds, and you barely notice them. Third, focus practice. Deep focus isn't something you do anymore. It's your default state. You sit down to work, and you're immediately in flow. No warm-up period. No resistance. No fighting distraction. Your mind just locks in because that's what trained minds do. You're not running Pomodoros because you don't need artificial structure. Your natural rhythm is already optimized. You work until the work is done or until your body signals rest. And when you rest, you actually rest. No phone checking. No mental churning. The same discipline that governs your focus governs your recovery. But here's the trap. For mistakes that make people think they're at Ri when they're not even close. Mistake 1. Thinking you're at Ri when you're at Ha. You've gotten good at adapting. You can customize your practice. You feel effective. So you declare yourself a master. But real Ri is unconscious. If you're still thinking about what you're doing, you're at Ha. If you still need to make decisions about your practice, you're at Ha. Ri happens when the decisions make themselves. Mistake 2, ego inflation. You've reached a high level of skill, and your ego turns it into identity. I'm a master in my mind. I've transcended the average person. That ego attachment is proof you haven't reached Ri. Real masters don't need to announce mastery. It's simply evident in everything they do. The moment you're thinking about being a master, you've created separation again. You're no longer one with the practice. You're watching yourself do the practice. That's not Ri. Mistake 3, stopping practice because you arrived. You feel like you made it, so you stop the daily work. And slowly, subtly, the skills degrade. Ri isn't a destination where you plant a flag and retire. It's a state you maintain through continued practice. The practice changes. It becomes effortless, enjoyable, integrated, but it doesn't stop. The concert pianist still plays scales. The black belt still drills basics. Maintenance isn't optional. Mistake 4, you can't teach others. This is a real test. If you've truly reached Ri, you can break down your unconscious competence and explain it to someone in Shu. You understand the principles so deeply that you can translate them to any level. If you say, I just do it, I can't explain how, you haven't reached Ri, you've reached high level Ha. Real masters can teach because they understand their art completely. even though they execute it unconsciously. Here's your practice for this stage, and it's going to be uncomfortable. Test your mastery in chaotic environments. If you've reached Ri in morning meditation, can you drop into that calm state in a crowded airport? In a heated argument? When you've just received devastating news? Practice under pressure and distraction. Because Ri that only works in perfect conditions isn't Ri. It's Ha with training wheels. And here's the real test. Try teaching someone else. Explain your practice to a friend. Walk them through the fundamentals. If you can't make it clear, if you get frustrated, if you resort to just do what I do, then you found your gaps. Teaching reveals what you actually understand versus what you think you understand. Now, the reality check that saves you from delusion. Ri is context dependent. You might have reached Ri in breath control, but you're in Shu at physical fitness. You might be at Ri in managing anxiety, but Shu at managing anger. You don't reach Ri once, and suddenly you're a master of everything. You'll cycle through Shu-Ha-Ri many times across different skills, different domains, different challenges. And even masters return to Shu for new skills. If that concert pianist wants to learn jazz improvisation, they start in Shu again. They follow the rules of jazz exactly until they internalize them. The black belt who wants to learn a new martial art starts as a white belt again. They bow to a new master. They copy the basics. Your mastery in one area doesn't exempt you from fundamentals in another. This is actually liberating. It means you're never done growing. It means mastery doesn't create stagnation. It creates the foundation for more mastery. The better you get at moving through Shu-Ha-Ri, the faster you can reach Ri in new domains. You're not learning skills anymore. You're learning how to learn. And that's what separates the people who control their minds from the people whose minds control them. It's not one technique. It's not one breakthrough. It's the patient, disciplined movement through stages, over and over, in every area of life, until mastery becomes your baseline, not your peak. Chapter 4, putting it all together. Here's what nobody tells you about Shu-Ha-Ri. You're never in just one stage. Right now, at this exact moment, you're in all three simultaneously across different areas of your life. Maybe you're in Shu with morning meditation, still copying the basics exactly. You're in Ha with your focus practice, adapting Pomodoro to fit your rhythm. And you're in Ri with controlling anger. It just doesn't spike like it used to. This is normal. This is how mastery actually works in real life. Look at your actual day. You wake up and exercise. Maybe you're in Ha there, experimenting with different workout splits after years of following programs. You go to work and manage a team. Maybe you're in Ri, leading without thinking, handling conflicts before they escalate. Then you try to learn a new software, and suddenly you're in Shu again, following tutorials step by step, copying exactly what the instructor does. Same person, same day, 3 different stages. Or relationships. You might be in Ri with your partner. Communication flows naturally. You understand each other without words. But you just became a parent, and you're in Shu, reading books, following advice exactly, hoping you don't break the baby. Or your career. You're in Ri at your main skill, but just started learning AI tools. So you're back in Shu, following prompt and best practices religiously. The mindset that makes this work is simple: patience with the process. You don't rush Shu because you want to feel advanced. You don't skip Ha because Ri sounds cooler. You respect each stage for what it teaches. Shu teaches discipline. Ha teaches adaptation. Ri teaches integration. You need all three, and there are no shortcuts. You can't buy your way to Ri. You can't hack your way past Shu. The only path is through, one stage at a time, one skill at a time, one domain at a time, for the rest of your life. That's not depressing. That's the game. And now you know how to play it. To conclude, you just learn the 3 stages of mind control. Shu! Obey the rules, build the foundation, master the fundamentals with 0 deviation. Ha! Break the rules intelligently, adapt what works, make the system yours. Ri! Transcend the rules completely, become the practice, operate from pure flow. This isn't theory. This is the exact path every master in history has walked. So here's your challenge. Pick one stage to focus on for the next 7 days. If you're new to mental discipline, you're in Shu. Choose one practice and execute it exactly as given. If you've been consistent for weeks, you're moving into Ha, test variations, and track results. If you're already operating at a high level, you're approaching Ri. Test yourself under pressure and try teaching someone else. One stage, 7 days, real commitment. And remember this, use this knowledge for self-mastery, not control of others. The techniques you learn today are powerful. They'll give you an edge most people never develop. But power without ethics is just manipulation. Master yourself first. Always, the world needs people with mental discipline. We're drowning in distraction, anxiety, chaos. You now have a map out of that. You have a system that works. Don't keep it to yourself. Become the example. Show people what's possible when you actually control your mind instead of letting it control you. If this resonated, like this video. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And drop a comment right now. Which stage are you in right now? Let me know where you're starting. The community here is building something real. One last thing before you go. True mastery isn't controlling your mind. It's becoming one with it. The goal isn't domination. It's integration. When you and your mind move as one, that's when you become unstoppable. Stay disciplined. Stay patient. Stay powerful.